Hello, it is Saturday and I'm back from my workshop. It's happy hour, so cheers. I am just doing a layout. Once again, thought I'd jump on because I wanted you to see how adorable this layout, this paper is. So I've got my Ladybug dress, I've got my Ladybug ring. I had a crafting injury today as well, ignore the band-aid. But I've got this adorable paper. I've got this raspberry and bee one, and then this cute sort of bug with ladybugs, grasshoppers on it, and the cutest thing, these ladybug epoxy shapes, ladybug garden. They're so cute. So I hope you can hear me. I'm just going to turn up my volume a bit. Don't look at the mess in my craft room. So I've got this to create with, and I know a lot of people are struggling with the busier papers, so I thought I would jump on and show you how I'm working with them. And so I'll just get some of this out of the way. So I've actually got some photos here. One of the papers is this really cute raspberry and blackberry paper, and so that's sort of one of the less busy papers. We've got the bugs, but the back sides are pretty neutral. And I have some photos here of a cafe visit, and we went to the Raspberry Cafe, so I thought I would use the raspberry paper as part of this layout. So I do have a sketch, and it is an exclusive sketch, so I won't be showing you or telling you the measurements, but I just thought it would be fun to use. I am using French vanilla cardstock as well, just because you can see that the raspberry paper is a bit more vanilla-y rather than plain white. So let's get started. I've got all my other gear off to the side. Now I am pairing this with some green apple cardstock. Oh, it matches my dress. Some candy apple cardstock from Close to My Heart. And then I needed a purple. And I found this purple, which is a very old Fundamentals. And maybe not in this light, but the purples do go, the purple and the purple. So we're using them in very small amounts. So let's get started. I've got my sketch over here. So the first thing I want to do is I want some red strips. So I'm going to cut those. Those are 1/2 inch. So I just thought I would jump on and put this layout together while you guys are here. Hopefully you've got something fun planned for Saturday night. I'm doing a few things, but I've got a break while someone else cooks dinner, so that is handy. And then I want tiny strips of green. So those are just 1/4 strips. So I've got 1/2 inch and 1/4 strips. So we're grounding this paper, this busy paper, with just some really basic cardstock colours, just to kind of help get that a bit more neutral. So that's cute. If I can get that up. They match my dress. So we've got the cardstock strips. Then what I want to do is cut some strips of the purple and the raspberry paper. I just really love this paper. It's so cute. And it's got bees on it as well. Where's a bee? Down the bottom there. So I also have some bee embellishments from Stampin' Up. So we might use ladybugs, we might use bees, we might use both. We'll find out. So I've got my layouts. The next thing I want to do is cut some strips. So I want I'm just having a look. So I want the first strips to be that way. I'm just working out the measurements right now. So I've got that. So I need that to be I might have to use a new piece of the raspberry because this is the wrong oh no, it's the right orientation. Ignore me. So E, half. Yeah, half an inch. E, 1 1/4. Okay, let's just start cutting. I've got another sheet, so if I need to use it, that's fine. 1 1/4. So I've got some cute raspberry sort of paper here, and I'm just thinking I was going to use all red and green, but because a lot of my embellishments will be red and green, I wanted to bring in the purple just for a little bit of contrast. So I've got my 3 strips, and these are going to be 11 inches. The great thing about this paper is that you don't need big amounts of it, so it just means that you can use it sparingly and you still get a pretty amazing layout. Now I just realized, because I'm very clever, that these are strawberries and I'm doing a raspberry layout, but that's okay, it's berries, we'll make it work. So I've got those strips, and then I just need I'm just thinking half. Yeah, those are my F3/4. I'm just working out my layout. So I've got my strawberries, I've got my black currants. So this paper is, like I said, it's been quite busy, and I've had a few people ask me, like, what would I even make with this? So I just thought I would jump on and show you. If you've got any ideas, or if you have used this paper, I'd love to hear what you've done as well, because it's just one of those things, you know, I like seeing other people's ideas. Right, so we've got those strips. Now I need my purple strips, and I was going to fussy cut this all before I jumped on, but my printer was playing up, so I couldn't do that. So I want a 1/2 inch strip at first. These measurements are very handy. I like working with sketches. If you haven't already, the Creative Design team, CDT, they come out with sketchbooks, and so they've just released a new one. I'm using one of the older sketches from volume 2, I think it is, but they've got great ones based on travel. They've got ones based on using 6x6 papers. So very, very cool sketchbooks. But I'm just using, one of the older sketches, but it is a paid sketch, so I won't be sharing full details of that with you. Right, I've got my purples. Now I need some more purples for the other side. So they're all slightly smaller strips. I'm concentrating. So yeah, we had a nice, we had a small scrapbook group today, which was quite nice. It meant I actually got some crafting done, and it also meant that, we could just listen to music. It was quite nice. And then I've been working on some layouts with the, what's it called, like the nature paper. So that's been fun. So I'm just cutting my last paper purple strip, and then we've got the photo mats. So sorry, this is the boring part that I had hoped to have done before you guys jumped on, but we'll make it work. So as well as the raspberry paper and the purple paper, there is this paper here. Now, I know what you're thinking, this is very, very busy, but I'm actually going to use this for fussy cutting some embellishments. Now, there is a matching die set. Unfortunately, I don't have it because every time I went to order it, it was out of stock. So I'm going to be fussy cutting. So I apologize in advance for any weird facials that I make using when I'm cutting that paper. But yeah, the back is just a really nice neutral, so it goes with my dress as well. Magic. So I've got everything except my photo mats. So let's cut the photo mats and then we will be ready to go. So I need some 4x6 photo mats, which is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is A4 paper, so I don't know if I will actually get, no, I won't get 3 photo mats out of that. 1, 2. Oh, will I get enough photo mats is the question. I might have to do a photo mat in another size. Oh no, we've just sorted it. So I've got 4 6x4 photo mats, and then I need to smaller photo mats. So we will make it work. We've got just enough green cardstock. I love this green. I have used this green colour on every single layout I have done with this paper collection. So, yes, it is my favourite colour at the moment to use for cardstock. So, I will show you how I'm going to put this layout together. So you can get rid of the trimmer, and I'll just move these ladybugs off to the side for a second and grab another drink. It's very thirsty work. I'm using a pineapple glass because why not? Life is too short. So we've got our French vanilla or vanilla cardstock. So on the left hand side of the page, we're just going to start. It's very, very easy. Actually, I'll probably do both pages at once. So I'm just going to put down some red cardstock along the top of my page. So this creates a kind of anchoring border. Oh, that's very hard to see when I'm using white French vanilla cardstock on my French vanilla desk. And then we'll put our green below it. Now this, these photos were actually taken back in November 2023. So, very, very short time ago. Now I've just realised, because this is A4 paper, it doesn't quite go to the end. So I'm in a little bit of a pickle. I will just have to fix that. I didn't think that one through, did I? No. And we'll do the same for the other side. We've got the red cardstock. Well, now, because this is two-toned, I need to make sure which side I'm gluing. I just love the vibrant red of this. It's beautiful. of the paper, and this, yeah, the Candy Apple cardstock from Close to My Heart matches so well. I'm not sure which colour kind of is the same match in Stampin' Up. I haven't quite got my head around all of the Stampin' Up colours just yet. I know I need to get better at it, but it's just something, because all of my Close to My Heart inks are still good, I'm just waiting to replace them until they've, you know, done their dash. Now this one I was going to put here. So I'll just make it so that the outer edge of the cardstock doesn't quite reach the edge, and then I might put like a little flower or something on the end of each one. So I've got my bases mostly done. Right, easy. Now I'm going to put my photos on, well, my photo mats. And the photo mats are pretty standard. So I'm just going to wing it a little bit, because that's one thing with the sketches. I don't actually get the measurements of, you know, how far in to put things, but that's okay. So I've got my 2 photo mats down the bottom. And once again, I'm using the green just because it's my favourite. I love it. So I've got my green, and then I've got 2 larger 4x6 photos. So they're going up the top. So these photos that I'm doing are very well overdue to be scrapbooked. So I thought, you know what? It's about time these went into my album. So I was trying to think of ways that I could do this Ladybug paper that's not so in your face like bug. I know I'm quite in your face bug today, but you know, that's different. So photo mats, very simple layout for the photo mats, and we'll do the same on the other side. So the other side actually just has some photo mats, and actually I'm going to put the strips of paper down first. So we'll do the left hand side with the strips of paper. So really simple. Just going to grab my strips now. It says that there's more strips down here. I can't remember if I cut 2 strips or 12. I'm sure I cut 3. So let's find. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just cut 2. Hold, please. Yeah, I feel like maybe I only cut 2. Right, I need to cut another purple. Is that the right piece? Yeah. Get my trimmer. Ooh. So just making sure that, you know, I'm paying attention, which obviously I wasn't. And then this piece is the 3/4 piece. Right, that's better. Now I have 3. And I just love the way that these berries have come out on the paper. So cute. Right, so I've actually got to put some photos. I need to move this across a bit, because I've got photos, the little tags out the side. So I forgot that I needed to put tags out the side. So let's just move these across a bit. Whoop, sorry. I'm just going to put that over there for now. Okay, let's try this again. I think we'll get there. Maybe. So with this layout, it's all about using your pattern paper, but just, yeah, in little amounts, so that you're not overwhelmed by the pattern. I mean, I do love it when I can put a big pattern paper under all my photos and it just looks great, but in this case I need to make an exception. So I'm just going to stick the papers down the side of the photo mat here. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm just going to stick them one, and then we'll use the berries, and I'm going to use the two pieces of paper that have the most berry on it, just to match up with the purple on this side, so that it doesn't look super weird. Right, so there's that, and then that. Cute. This is adorable. And then another purple. And another berry. Easy. So that's what the paper looks like there. So really, really simple. Really simple. So I've got that. Then I need some paper over on this side, on the other side of the photo mats. So it's got the cute little bumblebee. I love this bumblebee. Oops, now he goes down the bottom. So let's try that again. We're going to start with the purple, and that goes in the corner here, and then our purple bee. He's a bit cute. So I've got my little paper tags sticking out. So as you can see, not a lot of pattern paper, but enough. So let's now do, I guess, the hero side. That's going to use a bit more of this beautiful pattern paper. So when you're using pattern paper, there is definitely what we call a hero side, and then a sort of more focused side. So the hero side in this case is our berry side, and then that's the more muted side, but we're not using this side today. I've decided to pair it with the purple. Now this, I don't know if you can see, there is a slight polka dot pattern to it, but this works if you've seen my other pattern mixing videos, because we've got a larger pattern mixed with a smaller pattern within the same colour combination. So it still works because the purple feeds off the purple and you're not fighting for attention over the papers. So that's why this pattern mixing works for this paper. So I'm going to show you how to use a hero paper mixed with a toned down paper on the second page with a little bit more pop. We've used just a small amount on this page, but this is going to be our pop of pattern paper page. So the first thing you want to do is we're going to find the middle and get a pattern and a polka dot. So that looks about right. Now I'm going to put them pretty much straight on the top of this strip, so you are going to have a little bit of a gap at the bottom, but that's fine. So that looks about right. So I'm going to start sticking these down. Now you can, you know, measure and be super exact, but I am always the kind of person who just wings it. If you've seen my videos, you know that by now. Oh, and I'll make sure the B is up the right way. So yeah, so even though these are strawberries and the cafe is the Raspberry Café, I think it still works. It's berries. So we've got the purple, the red, the green, and then our hero paper here. So I'm just going to repeat that a couple more times. So this paper isn't going to go the whole way across the layout. It's just underneath the photos so that you can see a little bit of it popping out from behind the photos. Because the other thing you need to take into account is if your photos are busy, having a busy paper behind them can be quite distracting. And usually I pick colours that are in my photos for the pattern paper. However, today I did want a little bit of contrast. There's no purple or red in my photos. There's a bit of green, but yeah, I didn't want it to be full on. So we've got our purple and then our hero, and then we're just repeating that pattern, and the hero paper is slightly longer just so that it adds a little bit of staggering so that your eye goes across the page and doesn't get too fatigued. So we've got, oh yeah, I think I gauged that pretty well. So you might be thinking that looks really, really busy, too busy with the colours at the front and then all the strips, but we are going to tone it down, okay? So the next thing we want to do is put our photo mats on now that we've got our paper correctly in position. Now the other thing that I get a lot of the time is people want to put another purple strip here to kind of box it in, but I don't know, there's a time and place for it, but for this particular layout we don't need to do that. So I'm just going to grab my photo mats, plonk those in, and these are going sort of off the side. So we've got, just going to grab my other one to see how far out these go. I'm just deciding if I want to see the purple in the middle or if I want the green in the middle. Yep, right. So I've got my photo mats. And that is going to immediately tone down the paper. Oh no, I got a smudge on my paper, but you can see that that's sort of calmed things down a bit. The purple is quite bold, so you could always go with the more neutral as well, but once again, I don't usually do neutrals. I love bright colours, so that's what we're getting today. Now I'm about to prep my photos. Excuse the noise, I didn't have time to sort of unpack them. Now I have cut my photo mats at 6x4, so I haven't left a sort of, what would you call it, a border. So I am going to have to cut down my photos just a little bit. So I'm just trying to work out now what. So I've got two of the boys eating and two family ones, but I think want to split them up because otherwise it's too matchy on the paper. And I think as well, my title is going to be sort of based on family, so I'm just seeing which flows better. I think I like that, so we're done with that. So let me just quickly trim down these photos and I can show you how a busy photo has sort of fixed the busyness of the paper. So I've got, just having a look as to where my photo is. 3. So I need to cut my photos down about there. It's very scientific, not really. Yes, I've worked it out. So my photos are correct height-wise. They just need 3/8 taken off this side. So we're going to do that. Now, obviously you can make your photo mats slightly bigger. Now this one's tricky because I have the photos quite, you know, our faces are quite into the side. So I'm just going to have to be careful when I'm cutting that I don't cut off too much detail. But I think that still looks okay. That's my mum. And me with a glass of wine. Surprise, surprise. So I'm just going to stick all these down. Okay, so you can see already that it's not taking away from the busyness of the photos. So the busyness of the paper isn't competing with the photos, which is great. Now I'm thinking to myself, do I actually like this purple? But my mum's got purple in her dress, so we're sticking with that. Actually, that's a good point. My mum has purple in her dress, so that works. Now, I'm just going to cut a little bit off these ones as well. Sorry, once again, something I could have done before you guys jumped on, but I had printer issues and my photos went printing, so they are now, which is great. So I'm just taking a little bit off each side. Same with this one. Now, another thing I want to point out, one thing that's really, I guess, important that I see a lot is people think that in order to scrapbook photos, you need to have everybody smiling and looking happy and looking at the camera. So when I'm doing an event, I like to, you know, get those posed nice photos like this one and the one of my son. But then this one here, my son's not looking at the camera. He's looking at his food, which was delicious, by the way. But that doesn't make it any worse of a photo. So you don't always have to be looking and smiling at the camera. All of the ones where he was looking at the camera, he's pulling a face. So this was actually the best of the bunch. And, you know, it still shows that he's enjoying his lunch. And then I also like to include shots like these two here. I've got one of my wine glass in the menu from the Raspberry Café, and then just a close-up of my lunch. So just some of the little details as well. So when I'm doing a layer, I like to have a variety of candid shots, posed shots, and detailed shots. So hopefully that little tip helps. That concludes my TED Talk. So I'm now just cutting the smaller photos. Yes, I have cut those. I was like, have I cut them? Yes. And I'm just going to see how well these have. Oh, yeah, so that one's pretty good. I don't need to do anything with that. And I don't need to do anything with that. Beautiful. Goodbye, cutter. So I'm just going to glue down these photos as well and stick those down the bottom. So yeah, the great thing about this paper is you don't have to have it for babies or picnics or kids or anything. So yes, there's kids in my photo, but you know, it's one of those things that I've played up on the raspberry theme of it, the berry theme, since it's the Raspberry Cafe, rather than worrying about, oh, how am I going to put ladybugs on my layout, or, you know, how am I going to put it so that I can use ants or butterflies. So sometimes you just have to look at the bigger picture and sort of use the paper as an accent rather than theming your entire layout. Now, the one thing I will say is that these photo mats here are thicker than these ones, if you can see that. So I'm not sure if I'm feeling that. I might decide to trim these down a bit, but yeah, I think the different size is throwing me off. So let's just quickly deal with that, shall we? So I want to do these the same sort of size. So I'm going to just cut a quarter off them, because yeah, the different thickness was just not working for me. So the sketch does say to cut them at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, but I've decided I don't like that. So that's the great thing. Now my photo's stuck to me. That's the great thing about sketches, is that you don't actually have to do what the sketch says all the time. You know, like I can just change this up and make it slightly smaller, and no one's going to come and tell me off, because I'm just making the sketch my own. So have any of you actually used this paper packet? I'd be interested to know if any of you are familiar with this paper packet, if any of you have used it before, and what kind of things you've made with it, because yeah, I'd like to know. I'm just nosy like that. Now that one can go up there. So right, take 2. Now I've got my photo mats looking slightly, oh my gosh, okay, more involved. Now I just realized I need to move my banners. Oh. But that's okay. I know some people hate it when I keep ripping up the papers, and I'm sorry, but this is how I work. So now I just need to pick the papers up. This is why I only put paper in this, glue in the center of my papers until I'm really 100% sure, because otherwise you end up with glue all over your page. So I'm just going to stick that down. Okay, beautiful. Now let's put these photos back on. See, now these photos are too big. Oh dear. So I'm just going to cut 1, 2, 3. Cut into them a little bit. That'll do. Let's see if that is a better sizing. Yes, perfect. That looks a lot better. So then I'm just going to do the same with this one. Cut off the top of someone's arm. I don't know whose arm that is, but I don't need it in my photo. So, yeah, these are all, once again, I'm doing them at taking 3/8 of an inch off them. Okay, So now I've got my photos on this side. So this side is obviously a lot less full on. Whoops. Sorry, I moved you. So now comes the part that I have a love-hate relationship with, which is embellishing. I will, you know, I think I just struggle with embellishment clusters. So what I like to do is a visual triangle. So I'll start in the top left and then the middle and then sort of zigzag it. But a lot of the time I just don't know what to use as my embellishments. We also need a title. Now there is a title space here, and the plan with the title is, oh, I know what I was going to do. Because my layout strip doesn't go right to the end, I was just thinking maybe I could either put a ladybug or a bee charm on the end. I'm just going to see what a ladybug would look like. Like, these ladybugs are super cute. Match my dress. Let's see what one would look like. Or the other option is to dovetail. No, I think I'm going to put a ladybug on the end of each one. That would be cute. So I'm just going to... Oh, that is actually quite adorable. If you can see the ladybug on the end there. And then I'm just going to do that again with the other side. I'm kind of angling them in as well so that it looks intentional. Cute. Done. Okay. Now, I pulled out this stamp set from my stash. I don't even know. This is called Love Story Scrapbooking. But I liked the family script. So I'm just going to see if that actually fits in the space. Now, the sketch has a big tag here, and then you put your title on the tag. I don't know how I feel about that, so we'll see. Family memories. Yes, the tag is probably going to fit the family memories on there. If I look at the sketch, it does fill a lot of that blank space. Let's cut the tag and see what we think. Now it says to cut a 5x3, but this is not going to be 3 inches. This is like 2, I think. Well, it's not even 2. So if we do a 2x4, is that even going, well, 2x4.5. That could look, I'm just looking at the title. Yeah, that could work as the title actually. So what I'm going to do is, I could use a tag punch, but I'm actually just going to use my crocodile. This is a little hole punch, so I'm going to punch that in the middle-ish. Yeah. Now you'll see it's not close. I am going to cut this, so that's why it's not there, because I've found as well that sometimes I cut too close to the edge. Now this is 2, so I want I'm just going to see if I actually remember my tag creation. That was at half. Oh gosh, my brain is not having a bar of it. Yeah, that's not a successful tag. So maybe let's not make that tag. Maybe let's look at dovetailing. Oh no, now I don't have as much red left. Okay. I didn't think this through. Actually, if I cut that there, that's going to become a tag. Oh, I cut too fast. But I think in my stash somewhere, as you can tell, I'm quite indecisive. Oh, at least this way you can see more of my Ladybug dress. So I'm just going to use my old school corner rounder to round the corners. And then let's clip the middle again. Yeah, we should do it this way around. Okay, so I've got my tag. Crisis averted. And I want to stamp that on there. But now my issue is that my title is probably too big. Oh no, it will fit. Family time. Great. Let's stamp. Now I'm probably going to do black, just because I want it to stand out a lot. Now memories doesn't fit, so let's do time. Family time. That's cute. Right, I'm going to stamp that in black. So I don't know if you can see that I've put the block, so I've put the wording on the tag where I wanted it to go, and then I've picked it up with my block. Sorry, I keep knocking you guys. So I'm just stamping with black ink. Nice and simple, because with the red being quite a bold colour, I just need something neutral that will stand out. I could, if I really wanted to, emboss it in white, but ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm just going to stamp that down. And I've left some space so that I can embellish. Huh, that turned out okay. I know it's back to front, sorry. I'm just going to put this away because knowing my luck, I will end up with glue everywhere. Ink everywhere even. See, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Now, I also have this green thread that I thought might be cute if I just tie it onto the tag. So my favourite thing to do is actually, this is how I do my tags, my tag ties. So I just loop the end in half. I've got my hole ready there. Now this might be slightly harder with fake nails. We'll see how we go. So I loop it through the front. and then run the threads through the loop, and then that's ended up with a cute little tag knot. Now you can of course make this longer, shorter, whatever you like. And then I'm just going to cut off. I should probably use my ribbon scissors, shouldn't I? Cut off the ends here so that they're not as long. And there's my cute little tag. So that's going to go down there. It's getting to that point where there is so much stuff on my desk. Now I kind of want to put that underneath there. There we go. Cute. Right. So now my tag is in this empty space. So we've got a whole lot of embellishing to do. I know it's nearly been an hour, but if you stick around, the next part should be pretty quick. So I'm going to hopefully fussy cut some of these. Oh, actually this might be a bit trickier than I thought. Let's see. This would absolutely be a lot easier if we had the die cuts. But we don't, so we're just going to have to make do. Now, so with my sketch, I'm just having a look at it. So I've got a little embellishment down here. I've got down by the tag. I've got a big one up by the left-hand corner. And then I've got two smaller ones here. And then another cluster down in the bottom right corner. So I'm just wondering if I should do some fussy cutting off camera later on so that you guys aren't bored watching me fussy cut a million things. But we'll see how we go. Let's have a think. The ants are pretty cute. The butterflies with bubbles are pretty cute, and I could use the what would you call it? Like the dewdrop, I guess, epoxies to make the bubbles. Let's just see. Right, this is the painful bit. Sorry, guys. So I've got my, because I don't want to rush this because, you know, when I rush, I make a mistake, and that is the last thing I want to do when I'm fussy cutting. So let's just grab a drink. Let's see if I can think of something fun to tell you while I fussy cut. If anyone's local to Horswell, I went to Hoi An House last night for dinner, and it was amazing. I highly recommend it. I had chicken satay skewers to start, and that was my starter. I shared that because there were, I think, 3 skewers, and then I got this mix of, it was pork belly, rice noodles, and little mini spring roll things, and they made them all gluten-free for me. So it was like a tasting bowl, and then it was on a whole lot of coleslaw and lettuce, and it was just yum, because I quite like having a little taste of everything, and I get real FOMO when someone orders something on the menu and then I'm stuck with my meal and I don't get to taste their meal. So my friend Sarah, who was sitting beside me, she got the spring rolls as an appetizer, and they looked amazing. and it said they could do them gluten-free. So I thought, oh, well, if I get them on the bowl, I'll get to try them too. But then I'll still get some different things. So that was my plan. Yeah, so that was what I was doing last night. Service was awesome, and wine was good. And then I had a mocktail as well, because I was driving. So yeah, the mocktail was yum. It was guava, so that's one of my favourites. And then got home and packed for the craft day today. Went to bed, got up this morning. Jared made poached eggs, so that was nice. And then yeah, I've just been at the craft day. So I might jump back in my craft room after dinner tonight. I can hear dinner goings on in the background. There's my cute little caterpillar. He's cute. So he'll probably be one of my... See, he doesn't fit there. If I'd thought about it, I could have stamped the time different. Unless I put him down there. Actually, I could put him down there. Because it doesn't matter. Sorry, you probably can't see. It doesn't matter too much that my caterpillar is covering up some of my picture, because I don't need to see all of my picture. So I've got my cute little caterpillar. Then I have this big sort of leaf, strawberries, not raspberries. And so we're just going to fussy cut that. But yeah, I'd love to know if you are watching, just let me know what you've been up to today, because it's been a beautiful day. But if you're watching from somewhere other than Christchurch, it may not have been a beautiful day where you are. Who knows? I was inside for most of it, but yes, had a very, very productive day at craft. I was cutting out all the gears from the Gears and Texture die cut set, and who was it? Chelsea Vamati. She's made a really cool kit that uses the nature papers and the Gears and Textures, and I've kind of decided that it works well for steampunk, and of course I do a lot of steampunk stuff. So when I'm finished with that layout, I'm going to put some steampunk photos on it. So I'll share that with you when it's finished. Right, fussy cutting. And then one of my ladies made like 5 cards. She was on a roll. And then we were doing some signs for a party as well. So lots of different variants today at the crafting, which was fun. You know, if everyone's just doing one thing, I find it can get a bit stressful, because everyone's not necessarily comparing themselves to each other, but it does get quite bland in a way, you know, if everyone's working on the same thing. So I do like my crop days where everyone's just working on their own projects, and you just bring along your stuff and away you go. So I'm just fussy cutting this whole scene. This is probably the most intricate one. And as I said, this would be a lot easier if I had the die cut, which I don't. But I'm pretty sure it is in stock now. I was going to order it tonight, actually, because free shipping is on and it ends tonight. So if there is something you want from the catalogue, you can either message me and I can put it in my order after tea tonight. So I'll probably be ordering about 8:30 tonight. So if you see this and want to order before 8:30 tonight, give me just send me a message, a text, or a private message, and I can put that in my order for you. Or if you want to do your own order or see this after 8:30 tonight, then but before the free shipping cuts off, then yeah, you're welcome to put your own order in and you can save a bit of money on shipping, which is helpful. I believe it is a $150 minimum spend for free shipping as well. So if you don't quite have that much, you can always go in with your friends, see if there's anything they want, and jump in and grab that. So I'm nearly finished fussy cutting. I do want to do this properly. I do want to make sure that I'm not, you know, cutting out too badly. But at the same time, I probably will leave a big speck of the blue in the middle bit. I'm not going to fussy cut the centre because I do not have time for that, and I can't really get into the centre anyway. Like it's too close to everything, and I'd have to pierce the inside, and yeah, no. Sometimes you just have to take the path of least resistance, and I know fussy cutting is not for everybody, which is why I suggest the die. But this isn't bad, so we're nearly there. This is cute. This little ladybug is offering a strawberry to her friend. Must be a pretty small strawberry, but that's cute. Right, so I don't know if I'm actually going to include the friend ladybug because they're not part of the picture. So I'm just cutting this ladybug out, and then we'll see how that looks. Oh, last little bit. Beautiful. So there is my fussy cut ladybug, and as I said, I'm not going to cut this bit in the middle because I don't want to. Right, now, do I need this ladybug? No, it's a cute ladybug, but look, let's cut him and see how he goes. Some people hate fussy cutting, and I get it. I don't mind it, but I am just aware that, you know, I don't want to take up too much time on this video, so I'm trying to be as quick as possible. But yeah, the die cuts would absolutely make this way easier. So I might jump online tonight and see if the die cuts are available, and if they are, that will make my life a lot easier. But for now, we're making do with the scissors, and the snips from close to my heart are great, so I'm happy with that. Okay. Yeah, no, I think I do need the ladybug in there. Okay. So I'm just going to put... See, it's interesting because the ladybug is supposed to be up the top, but that doesn't really work with my layout because then it's just kind of floating in the middle. So then the other option is to put the caterpillar down here and then have the bug here, but then I've still got a gap here. Oh no, unless I use that as one of the oh, that's cute. I don't know if you can see that. I've got the ladybug offering the fruit over here, and then I could put the ladybug receiving the fruit over on this tag. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, we've got it. And then the little grub, the little caterpillar can just be up here. It's hard when there's nothing to ground him on, but I think if we just kind of put him there, 1, 2, 3, because there is supposed to be a bug here, right? And then I need a bug over in this corner. And nope, wrong scissors. So the butterflies are, I thought they were actually moths, but no, they are butterflies. So they're blowing bubbles, but it is going to be way too hard to fussy cut the bubbles. We're not doing that. So I'm just going to fake the bubbles and see if that works. So at least the butterfly is easier to fussy cut. I've got bits everywhere. Okay, so one butterfly is up here. That's kind of cute. Yeah, I like this little dude as well. Okay, I think I'm going to put all of this up on foam tape as well, just because, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it says that there's more clusters over on the left, but I don't know if I want clusters. What if I just stamped some leaves coming out? Hold that thought, because I do have in here some leaves that I have already cut. Beautiful. Easy, because I need some greenery out this way. I wish you could see this. And some greenery out this way. Oh, that just makes it. That actually works so well. Yay! Okay. So I'll show you this page. So I've got the layout, and then I was going to put the caterpillar up here and the ladybug down here, but there's this big gap. So using this greenery, which I will put that way, is just going to help fill up that space. So let's do the left hand side of the page, and as I said, I'm going to put the bugs on foam tape just to give them a bit more pop. So I've got my big foam tape here. Just going to find my, nope, that's tearing tape. Sorry. I'm just going to put my bugs up on foam. It just makes it a lot easier to get them to stand out a bit on the layout. So I've got that, and then I'm going to cut a square in half for the flower and his tail. This is the sticky part. Okay. No, I'm a lot happier with this. Jana Malmy is a big believer in adding sprigs, so I'm listening to her today. So I've got my little dude up here with his strawberries, and then my sprig. Okay, I'm feeling better about this one now. I was a bit worried about the amount of white space, but we are making it work, which is great. So I'm just going to stick that there. Oh, and then I need my little Ladybug, who is happily receiving the strawberry from the other end. So, as I said, there are no ladybugs in these photos. I'm not wearing my ladybug dress. But I've made the theme work by tying it to the Raspberry Café. And I'm going to put him there. Now, the one thing I'm not sure about is where I'm going to put my journaling. So I probably could have put it up where these sprigs are, but here's my page so far. So we've got the little strips of pattern paper, we've got the tag with the ladybug, and then we've got the ladybug epoxy up in the corner plus the caterpillar dude. And yeah, now I just have to contemplate journaling. So in the meantime, let's stick down the bits from here. Oh look, that's already kind of sticking. Fabulous. So I've got my sprig again. These sprigs are so good. If you buy one thing from the mini catalogue, this set, that I think it's called Nature's Symphony, with the leaves in it, is just stunning. It's like, yeah, the best purchase ever. Right, so we've got that, and then I'm going to put down some foam tape on the bugs having their picnic. Oh, I don't like this foam tape. I'm not sure what brand it is, but it is not very good. I don't like it. I probably bought a cheap one when I was out and about somewhere. Don't be like me, guys. So I'm just plonking this down. One thing I do really struggle with is finding a foam where the adhesives actually stick, because this one, the backing just does not stick. It's very frustrating. So it can go there, it can go there. Okay, we've got some foam tape action going on now, guys. And after dinner, I will be tidying up my desk before I keep working on my gears and nature layout. But this is coming together nicely, this layout. I'm quite enjoying it. Oh, and my tummy's grumbling at me. Yes, tummy, it will be tea time soon. I've very nearly finished, which is great. Now I need to make sure that the ladybug lines up with the ladybug. There we go. Cute. And then I've got my butterfly. He's the last little dude. He can just have a standard foam square. And I'm going to put him up here. Yep, and then I'm going to use these clear gems as his bubbles. So I might use my pick up tool for these. Let's see if that works, because I am nervous about making a mess. Oh, if these are going to work. Yes, beautiful. So this is very, I guess, subtle. So the clear on the white, you know, is very kind of, yeah, it's not hugely obvious, but it does add a little bit of interest. So bubble, bubble, bubble. Cute! So can you see my little butterfly? And you can see there the bubbles he's blowing in certain lights. There. He's got bubbles. So I am just going to add some of those gems around the layout. So I'm going to add a couple of dewdrops on the, if I can get this off, I might just need some new putty. Twist. Yeah, the dewdrops are really cute. So I'll add some dewdrops directly onto the leaf on my layout. Two. Oh, they're cute. And I need some dots over here. One. So these, yeah, because they're clear, they're not hugely obvious, but they do add a nice touch for just for having on your layout. So I'll put a wee dewdrop on the caterpillar's leaf as well. Cute! Okay, now I've gone well over my hour, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here, and I'll post a picture up of this finished layout with journaling later on tonight. But I will show you what this looks like so far. I will need to put some journaling. I might even move this tag up or down to kind of accommodate the journaling. I might do another tag with the journaling. So stay tuned for that. And I'm just wondering if I should add some bee trinkets. Let's see. I've got some teeny tiny bees. I mean, they are adorable, but then that would mean I'd have to add like one. No, I do like the bees. One, two, and I've got the ladybugs. I'm just thinking, one, two, and then that one can possibly go down there. Yeah, right, I've got 3 sort of gold bees. Bees. I probably should glue them on now so that you guys can actually see the bees, because otherwise if I hold up the layout they're going to fall off. So let's put the bees on. So I'm just using my clear glue. 1 bee. 2 bee or not to be? Ha. I have decided to be. Nope, that one's. I thought I would be clever and put the glue on the paper rather than the bee, but no, that doesn't work. Now that is smudged everywhere. But once I drop the bee down, I'm not going to move it. Oh, famous last words. That one just stuck to my finger. Okay. Do I want some more ladybugs is the last question. I think I don't know. I might just put another ladybug on each of the leaves, and then a ladybug somewhere else, because that way it means that I've got 5 ladybugs, and I like to have multiples of 5. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then where can this ladybug go? I'll put the last ladybug on that leaf. Cute! Right. This has come out really well. So yeah, like I said, I'll do my journaling off camera because this video has gone long enough. But here is my left-hand side page with the leaves. So see, I've put the ladybugs on the leaves. I've got my little bee. I've got the caterpillar, and then the tag with the other ladybug and some dewdrops on it. And then the hero piece paper with the butterfly with the bubbles, and then I've got another ladybug and a bee down here with the leaves, and then another sort of feature, I guess, embellishment, plus another bee, and then if you can see that, I'll put dewdrops on those leaves as well. So I'll bring that in together so you can see the finished layout minus journaling. Yeah, I'm not sure where the journaling's going to go, but I feel like if I do a smaller journaling spot, if I move this tag up a bit and then do the journaling spot underneath, that's going to be the best. But yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed the experience of watching me craft today, and hopefully you learnt something, or if not, I'm just glad that you came along and watched, and I hope you enjoyed watching me yeah, just wing it really. So I'm going to put the lid on my glue. That is very important. Oh no, now that you guys are watching me, I'm not going to be able to do it. Usually I can just get it. There we go. But yeah, I'll post after dinner. I will put my journaling on and post a picture of the finished product. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my creative process, and I will post finished pictures soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.